Welcome to the PressBox.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
0.9. Tie game at 72. Illinois to inbound to the corner. Brandon Paul looking to inbound. Gets it to Griffey. Layup. Oh!
Smith, court 20 to right, down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy.
Williams to tie it with a three. He does.
Welcome, everybody, to the debut episode of the PressBox Live on Clubhouse Lounge Radio. I am Keith Gibson, owner and operator of the Clubhouse Lounge here in the Clubhouse Lounge Radio studio. And joining me this evening, my broadcast partner, my partner in crime, the man who runs the sidelines. And he's over in the TP in Tolono, Mr. Scotty Johnson.
Yes, sir, Keith, we're here. This is an exciting day, the debut of the PressBox. I'm looking forward to this.
We are missing Daniel, who had a little fender bender, so he couldn't be with us tonight. But Scotty and I are going to run you through the debut show. We got a lot to talk about tonight, don't we, Scotty?
A lot of stuff going on in the sports world. A lot.
Yeah, a ton. We're going to talk about the NCAA National Championship game in Indiana. We're going to talk NIL and the transfer portal. And boy, do I have some stats for you, Scotty, to talk about on the transfer portal. We're going to talk a little Major League Baseball. We're going to talk Illini basketball, both men's and women's, because Shauna Green doing some big things on the women's side, Scotty. And then we're going to talk about a little NFL later in the show. So you want to stick around all hour long with us here on the PressBox Live on Facebook, on Clubhouse217.com, and on YouTube. Scotty, if people don't know you, what's one thing they should know about you?
Oh, man. Keith, I do a little bit of everything. Down here in Tolono, Illinois, and we get together and do the Unity Rockets football, and I help you out there and have a really good time doing that. And then, but really, Keith, it's just diehard Illini around here. As you can see, around me, and, we got the Altmaier shirt and the Chief flag and got some Bears gear in here and the Illini football, but everything Illini, born and raised Illini fan, and I follow the Illini pretty hard. I'm a big football guy. We do a lot of tailgates. We did the Ohio State tailgate together.
We did.
That was a great time, but every tailgate you'll find me and DP, who's not here tonight, but you'll find us out in Lot 31, and then, get to a good share of basketball games as well, and everything Illini around here.
And we're glad you're here. We're glad all the help you give to Clubhouse Lounge Radio, more than people realize. You're not only my help with tech side too, your help with audio and everything that goes into it. And we're grateful for you without a doubt. There's only one problem I have, Scotty, and that's that red, ugly hat that sits on top of your desk there. And I'll look at it, but I don't like it.
To be fair, I do have the blue one over here.
Yes,
yes,
you do.
Kind of wouldn't mind if I accidentally knocked that off today, but no, MLB in general, I love baseball. Who doesn't? It's just, it's a long season, but man, it's just fun. And I don't care who's playing. I will go to a game. I'll watch a game. It's just MLB baseball is a good time. And yes, I am a Cardinals fan, but I like baseball in general.
We'll get to that here in a little bit because they made some moves here this offseason. We'll talk about some free agency as well. So for those who don't know me, I am the owner and operator of Clubhouse Lounge Radio. I have now in our 5th year of the radio station. We are the home of Rocket Nation's radio station for the Unity Rockets football and basketball and all athletics there. And we enjoy doing it. We enjoy the support we get. We had over 200,000 tune in during this football season, that championship run. To the championship game there in the fall, and just fun. And so Scotty and I wanted to bring something else. We want to talk real sports talk for real sports fans, and that's what we're here on the PressBox Live. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back and we'll dive right in to the national championship Indiana Hoosiers NIL of the transfer portal right here on the PressBox Live. Brought to you by Jen Wright and Midwest Mortgage.
Whether it's your first home or your forever home, Jen Wright at Midwest Mortgage in Champaign will focus on your goals, not just the numbers. Jen Wright will uncover options, build your strategy, and make this journey clear, simple, and stress-free. Let Jen Wright at Midwest Mortgage find solutions that fit your busy life. Call Jen today at 217-778-0598. Because your home should work for you, not the other way around. Jen Wright, Midwest Mortgage, NMLS number 2105305.
Welcome back here to the Press Box Live. Keith Gibson along with Scotty Johnson. I'm in the Clubhouse Lounge radio studio. He's in the TP in Tolono, bringing you the Press Box Live, real sports talk for real sports fans. Scotty, let's dive in. Let's give the people what they want. Let's talk national championship game. The Indiana Hoosiers, perfect on the year, 16-0, beat Miami Monday night to end a storybook season of college football for an Indiana team that's went from maybe one of the worst teams, programs in history of college football to now on top. Kirk Cignetti has changed that program around in 2 years. But the question for you, Scotty, for me is I've heard nothing but people saying, well, they're the best team ever because they went undefeated. And I don't think so. What's your take?
Yeah, I think that's a stretch. I really do. I mean, there's a lot of college football teams that you could throw in that mix. I mean, just to back up just a second, congratulations to Kirk Cignetti and the Indiana Hoosiers because, I mean, they played a hell of a season, and Illinois had to go over there and get spanked by them.
Yeah, it was ugly. Quickly.
But it kind of makes me feel better to watch them go undefeated and win the national championship just after flipping this program in 2 years, like you said. But the best team ever, I don't know about that. They did.
Yeah,
they did.
I don't either.
They won good games, especially when they had to. Going down to Miami and playing Miami at basically a home game for the national championship wasn't an easy task, and they went down there and handled business pretty well. Honestly, it wasn't a blowout, but it really didn't feel like a close game if you were watching. This past Monday night.
I agree with you wholeheartedly on that one, Scotty. It never felt like Indiana wasn't in control the entire night.
Yeah, Fernando Mendoza, that kid's so tough and he's so good. And coming into the season, never had his name anywhere near a Heisman, and the kid comes out, wins the Heisman, and he proved why. He's a leader, and he's a hell of a quarterback, and he led that team, and props to him. And again, Kirk Cignetti, that finally got to see him smile on Monday. Did you see that?
I did, and I will give congratulations to Kirk Cignetti, but I will never give congratulations to Indiana Hoosier team, whether it's basketball, football, or whatever. Just can't do it. I can't pull myself to do it. But no, I will say that I think there was a lot of better teams before them. The great season. Don't get me wrong. But you gave me an LSU team with Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and Joe Burrow, and a defense like they had. I think that wipes them clean. I don't think it's even close. I know you're comparing apples to oranges, different programs, different era of college football with everything that goes on now. But I just can't crown them as the greatest ever, whether they went 16-0 or not. I just can't do it because I've seen too many dominant Alabama teams. I've seen too many dominant LSU teams. And I'm not an SEC guy. I've seen dominant Ohio State teams that I think would have ran them away too. And Miami, I was shocked they were there to begin with, number one. I didn't think they were that good of a team when they beat Notre Dame earlier in the year. But here's what we have, and that was a national championship game. They earned their right by the college football playoff to get there. But I won't crown Indiana as the greatest team ever to play college football.
Yep, I'm in agree with you there because, I mean, there's so many great college football. I look at guys like Johnny Manziel, had an amazing college career, didn't do much in the NFL, but, it just feels like there's been teams out there that probably are more deserving for that title of best college team, not Indiana Hoosiers this year.
Well, you look at the old USC teams, Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, Lindell White. They had guys on the outside. You look at Vince Young-led Texas Longhorn team. It's just Mendoza's a great quarterback. He managed managed his team and managed games well and put up numbers because he was so accurate. I think that was the biggest part of it. But I think if any props go to anything, I think Kirk Cignetti went from down here on my list of top coaches to way up here just because of what he's done with this program in the last 2 years. I mean, we're talking about 8 guys on this roster in this season who were 4 and 5-star recruits, and everybody else was 3 and under. And he got the most out of his players and has for the last 2 years since he's came to Indiana. That's why this program's been turned around. They have a culture. He believes. Is he arrogant? Is he a little brash? Yeah, but I like the guy. That's the one thing I do. I do like Cignetti. I like the way he does it. And the man will be honest about drinking a beer.
Yeah. He again, he's rough around the edges, maybe you call it, but like I think that's what you need in a good college football coach. I mean, these kids are young, so it does take a little discipline to get to where they got to, and for him to do it in 2 years is just kind of amazing. Obviously, the transfer portal, and we'll get to that in a minute, but that changes the way college football is played to this day, and it's going to keep changing, I think, over the next few years till they kind of get that figured out. But he did a good job, and the question now is he a long-term college coach? Is the NFL going to look at him eventually? I mean, he's made his mark so far.
Well, I believe he was, if I read right, an 8-year, $96 million extension. That's a lot of cash. But you do that in a program in 2 years, I want to lock the guy up too. I want to get him where he is my guy for the long term, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about the transfer portal a little bit too, Scotty. Because to me, and once again, I'm not taking anything away from Indiana, but college football to me, since this transfer portal has happened, and the NIL and all this money's being thrown around like it's just wet leaves on a fall day. Well, dry leaves on a fall day, I guess. Wet leaves wouldn't go that far, but to me, college football is a little watered down compared to what it used to be.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and not even just college football, that the transfer portal is affecting college sports in general. The transfer portal, I've got problems with the transfer portal.
We all do.
Got to get it under control. These guys that are going to 3 or 4 or 5 different schools over the course of their college career is just crazy to me. And as a coach, as a longtime coach, you used to coach freshmen coming out of high school, and you're building a roster. You don't have that anymore. You really don't.
Well, and that's why you're seeing guys like Tom Izzo being frustrated with this. The Caliparis, the Patinos, the guys who've been around for a long, long time are so frustrated with this transfer portal. Here's some stats for you, Scotty. Did you know that roughly 70 to 80,000 athletes across D1, D2, and D3 in this year alone entered the transfer portal across all sports? 70 to 80,000. Now, in football alone, in FBS, there was 3,346 football players enter the transfer portal in FBS. 1,922 enter in the FCS. That's Division II, Division III. So you had over 5,000 athletes. This is going to tell you this is where I get fired up. Enter the transfer portal. Now, when they enter the transfer portal, they give up everything. You give up your scholarship. You give up your spot. You give up access to everything at the school. You give it up all. You give all of it up. You give up your education. Out of that 5, how many have committed?
I'm going to guess not even half.
2,186 as of today.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now, do you know what happens when they don't commit and they can't find a school to go to? Guess what happens, Scotty?
They're SOL.
That's exactly right. They are SOL. That is exactly. They lose their education. They lose their scholarship. They lose all the money. They lose it all. So it's a huge risk. And I think some of these kids are chasing money and the bags of money, thinking, oh, I'm gonna go make this money in NIL and transfer here and bigger school and make more money, and then they're left out in the cold, and then they have no education. So what are we teaching these kids? The NCAA especially has to get a handle on this soon, because there's too many kids losing it out on an education. And I keep getting that because they're student athletes, and I'm big on that, losing out on their education just to chase money, because you've got guys who are an agent who are telling them what to do. And this transfer portal is a mess.
Yeah, and I think it really starts with the NIL. Like you hit it on the head. These guys, I get it. There's some that transfer for other reasons, or maybe coach, or maybe their parents, or being closer to home, whatever it is. But I think you're absolutely right. A majority of them are chasing that bag of money, and so I think it needs to start with the NIL. The NIL is out of control. Do the kids deserve to get paid? Absolutely. I believe that 100%. They're bringing a lot of money for these schools. I mean, they're out there working as a student athlete, but there's no limit. There's no limit on how much they can get paid. There's no limit on, you know, when they get paid. Like there needs to be limitations. You get a kid that's coming out of high school that's 17, 18 years old, and all of a sudden signing NIL deals for over $1 million.
It's a lot of
It's
cash.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's a lot of cash. I don't know. I don't understand. How do you prepare a 17, 18-year-old to just, go from whatever to millions, just with a flip of a switch? I think there
Right.
needs to be years of they need to get paid like almost like a paycheck, the monthly, or, I agree. I think they need to have, some sort of bonuses if they stay and not transfer. But there needs to be something changing in the NIL/transfer portal. But I think it starts with the NIL.
I agree with you 100%. And there is Duke University is suing their quarterback right now, has a lawsuit because he signed a 2-year NIL deal with them. And then after 1 year, he's decided to transfer. Well, these NIL deals are contracts. They're literally legally binding contracts. I don't think these kids understand that. Is when they're signing these contracts, they're just looking at the dollar signs. And this is killing college sports. It's not amateur sports anymore. And when the NIL came out, I was afraid of this. It's become a business, and a very lucrative business at that, because you have some of these teams spending 200, $300 million just in NIL deals for these players and across the board through all these sports. And it's becoming, and I agree with you, there has to be a structure somehow, some way of saying, okay, this is basically a salary cap. And it has to be across the board, no matter whether you're Alabama or you're St. Mary's of the Woods. It's got to be the same on both ends. Here's your cap. You can't spend any more than this. Because what's happening is you have all these schools spending all this money, and that's where the players are going, and you're seeing those programs start to get better.
Yeah, and 100%. And to your Duke University, filing or suing, that just happened a week ago in Oregon. The Oregon quarterback did the same thing, and he decided he was going to enter the transfer portal after he signed the NIL deal, and Oregon said we're suing, and he made a decision to come back to Oregon after that hit the papers. So
Well, yeah, why wouldn't you? I mean, you're legally binded. You're in a contract.
yeah, there just needs to be structure to it. I do like the NIL. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, they deserve to get paid. They bring money into the school. They deserve something. And also the NIL has helped even out the playing field a little bit. I mean, look at college football right now. Big Ten has won the last 3 national championships. 10, 15 years ago, Big Ten was not really relevant compared to the SEC. So I do think it's evening out football. I mean, more football than basketball, but I think it's something that needs to be parameters and controlled a little better than it is.
Is it evening it out, Scotty? Or my thought is it's not evening it out. It's more watering it down. It's making it more. I don't want to say even it out, because I still feel like these top schools, your SECs, your Big Tens, are still getting spending the more money and getting the better players out of the transfer portal and just reloading every year. What I don't like about it is these kids allowing to transfer. uh, Forget NIL. I don't like these kids being able to transfer year after year after year after year. I think there needs to be one time, and maybe two with an NCAA approval if a coach leaves or you have a medical condition or a family issue, something like that. Like Mendoza with his mom having MS. If he wanted to be closer to Miami and transfer there, I would have no problem with that because he wants to be closer to family for that reason. Like his brother is transferring out of Indiana and going to Georgia Tech to be closer. Win a national championship and you transfer the next day. Kind of odd to me, but whatever, But my point is, I think there has to be a limit structure there too, as far as transferring.
I agree. I think the one time is probably a good idea unless there's other approval from the NCAA. Coach change, absolutely. If coach gets fired, new coach comes in, I think that possibly deserves a reason to transfer or, you know, I guess each situation's different, but yeah, there has to be parameters that it has to be structured better. These guys playing 3, 4, 5 different colleges over the course of their, eligibility is just, it's crazy to me. It's crazy.
Well, you get a freshman who come in and maybe they don't play a lot because they're a freshman. Next year they're transferring. I'm gonna go somewhere I can play. I'm gonna go. Okay, I didn't play enough there. I'm gonna go somewhere else and play. You're not. It's not teaching these kids any value. It's not teaching these kids any work ethic either, really, because they're just, well, I'll just get up and go. That's the day and age we're in right now. But there has to be a limit. Somebody's got to man up, grow some cojones, and say, we're done with this. You get one time.
I agree. I like it. I think that
Now, well, before we wrap up this first segment of the press box here on Clubhouse Lounge Radio, I want to ask you a question. Are you okay with the format of the college football playoff?
Yes. I mean, I like the fact that the college football playoff has expanded and it makes it a lot more interesting. I'm not 100% sure on the selections. I feel like, that needs to get narrowed down a little better. I think you got to structure that as well because I think it should be your best teams. I think your best teams make the playoffs. That's what makes sense. But you're pulling these conference champs in that have quite a bit less strength and quite a bit less wins.
James Madison does not belong in the college football playoff. I don't like Scotty. I agree with you 100% on that, but I don't like the buys either. I think you got to move it to a 16-team playoff. Everybody plays in the first round because you look at what the buys are doing. If you're in a rhythm and you're going, and all of a sudden you get 30 days off and you get another extra week and everybody else is playing, it's the records itself show that it's not a good thing for college for these teams either. I think you've got to start this a little earlier because and not play as late. I mean, there's no reason that the national championship game was Monday night. I mean, none whatsoever. Yeah. The regular season ended a month and a half ago.
Yeah. No, you're right. I agree. I think the buys definitely have shown, it has not favored the teams with a buy. The top 4 teams that make the playoffs, just based on the last 2 years, the buys have not favored the record. So, 16-team playoff would be pretty cool, actually. It gets, I think, a few of those other teams in. And then you got, a whole different conversation with like Notre Dame and, they thought they should make it. Then they opt out of a bowl game completely because they're pissed off or whatever the case may be. You got teams that are on the bubble that are making the playoffs with a 16-team format.
And I don't think you got to look at strength of schedule. I don't think there should be any automatics. I think you just take, okay, here's where we're going to take your top 16 teams that are ranked. You're the ones in.
Yeah.
That's my thought on it.
Yep.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk Illini basketball who got a big win last night over Maryland. And we're going to talk both men's and women's because Sean Irene's got the Illini women rolling too. And we're going to talk MLB. We're going to talk a little free agency, a little trade, a little bit of everything during this offseason. You're listening to the Press Box on Clubhouse Lounge Radio with Keith Gibson and Scotty Johnson.
You work hard to keep your car running and your home safe. That's why it's an easy choice to turn to Country Financial for car and home insurance you can count on. Jordan McDaniel and Country Financial have provided insurance and protected families like yours for more than 100 years. That's the kind of stability you can trust. Start protecting your car and your home today. Call Jordan McDaniel, your Country Financial representative in Savoy, at 217-352-9817 for a free quote today.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Press Box Live. Keith Gibson here in the Clubhouse Lounge Radio Studios. And my broadcast partner, Scotty Johnson, over the TP in Tolono as we bring you the debut episode of the Press Box. And, Scotty, we talked about in our first segment about college football, but we're going to move on to a little college basketball now. Let's talk a little Illini basketball. Big win Wednesday night over Maryland in a very convincing fashion. And Brad Underwood and the Illini, number 11 in the nation, playing pretty good.
Yeah, they've got it rolling right now. And, to jump on the Maryland game real quick, started off pretty tight, but about halfway through the first half, Illinois just kind of pulled away with it and never looked back. The big news right now is, as most people probably have heard, we're playing without our dog, Kylan Boswell, our senior leader that just went down with a hand fracture. So that's kind of scary, going into this next month of basketball. But yeah, they are playing really good right now. 8 in a row after last night's win.
Yeah, Stojakovic with 30 last night. And that's what I've been telling a lot of people, what I love about this Illini team is the balance. It's next guy up mentality. Boswell has been playing phenomenal, probably his best year he's had here at Illinois. And a leader, you're right. It's going to be the dog. You're right. He does everything, the little things you want him to do. But you look at Wagler, who stepped up. Even Isic. I struggle with these names. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen. It's hard for me. They've stepped up. Stojakovic, a Wednesday night, stepped up. It's next guy up mentality, and it's somebody every night, but it's balanced too. It's somebody might get 18, 20, but it's going to be a different guy every night.
Correct, yeah. And Jake Davis got the start last night in place of Kylan Boswell. Don't get me started on Jake Davis. Love the guy, not a fan of Jake Davis, but like you said, it's next guy up. And fortunately for Illinois, man, we got some young guys right now that are hungry and playing some really good basketball.
Jake had double digits, so I think he ended the night with 10.
Jake is all right. He's not been my favorite the last couple seasons, and you got to pick on somebody.
Well, yeah, that's I know you do, but he's not my favorite either. I think there's better options, but he came in and he did the job in place of Boswell on Wednesday night, and Coach Brett Underwood has these guys playing really good defense. They're rebounding the basketball very well. They're playing solid defense, playing tough-nosed defense, and that'll win you a lot of ball games. And because this is a big stretch of games the next month without Boswell.
Yeah, Illinois 16-3 on the season right now, 7-1 in the Big Ten. The 3 losses we're looking at, number 11 Alabama at the time. I think we went somewhere neutral side, I think, and played them. We lost to UConn in the Big Apple. And then
that game was close.
That game was close. Not as close as when number 23 Nebraska came in to Champaign, who Nebraska's had an unreal start to the season, and they're up to ranked number 7 right now. Fortunately, we get to go see them, but that's going to be one of those games without Kylan Boswell here coming up next week, it looks like.
They shoot the ball. Nebraska shoots the ball out of this world. They do. And somehow they that last second shot, 3 by Nebraska at home at State Farm Center. That was, but 3 losses. You're 16-3, right?
Yep, 16-3.
16-3. That's a pretty solid start. I mean, you look at it, 24, 25 wins, that's going to get you a pretty solid seed in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and they were talking about stats the other night on Big Ten Network, and Bruce Weber was on, and they mentioned the last time Illinois went, on the road for their first 6 away games and won in the Big Ten was 2005, which, as we remember, Coach Weber took the team to the national championship. But yeah, they're off to a great start. Some key wins that I have down here. Number 11, Texas Tech came to town, beat them. Went down to Tennessee. It was a neutral site game in Nashville, but we beat Tennessee in Tennessee, which was a really big win.
I think Scotty, I think that was almost a turning point for me for this team too, because it showed a little bit of grit and showed a little bit that hey, we can win no matter where we play.
Yeah, I agree. We beat Iowa on the road last week, ranked 19th. But for me, the turning point when we went down to St. Louis for the annual bragging rights game right around Christmas, we beat Missouri by 43. Missouri's not that great, I will say, but beating Missouri by 43 in St. Louis is a big deal, and we've been 8-0 since. That was the turning point to me. You're coming off of a loss with Nebraska. You go down to Missouri, played lights out, beat Missouri by 43, and then you haven't lost since.
Right. Yeah. And playing very good basketball. So I'm anxious to see where we go from here, in a good way. Because I think really right now there's no place to go but forward and up, because I think this team's going to constantly get better and better as the season goes on. Where do you have them right now when you look at projection wise NCAA tournament? Are they a 2 seed? Are they a 3 seed? I don't think they're a 1. I really don't. And I think they're more, in my opinion, I think they're maybe a low 2, high 3.
I like that. But I think this next month is going to tell us a lot with losing Kylan Boswell. Just to run through kind of what we're looking at is we have to go to Mackey Arena on Saturday and play number 4 Purdue. We had this
Who lost? They lost.
They did lose to LA, which was kind of crazy, but playing at Mackey is not an easy task. And now you're down your lead, your starter, Kylan Boswell, that he's just a leader. He might not be the highest scorer every night, but he's a leader on the court. He's one hell of a defender. And without him, we're going to have a tough next month. So we have to go to Purdue. We have Washington at home, and then we go to Nebraska. So we got, in the next week and a half, we got 2 ranked games on the road, which are going to be tough. Northwestern comes to town, and then you go up to East Lansing, Michigan State, another ranked on the road. So we got the next 3 road games are ranked teams in the top 10. That's going to be probably what's going to tell me a lot about this team. You got Wisconsin at home, Indiana at home, USC on the road, UCLA away at UCLA. And then somewhere in that USC, UCLA, I think we're expected to see Boswell back before Michigan comes to town. And I think if you're Coach Underwood and, your leader just went out with a hand fracture, I think you circle Michigan and make sure you get Kylan Boswell back by that game.
Yeah, that's at home. Michigan game's at home, and that's big for us. And Morez Johnson Jr. makes his return to the State Farm Center, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of boo birds out that day as well. But he's having a heck of a season up for Michigan.
He is. He's one of those guys that hit the transfer portal because he claims he didn't like his position on the team and he wanted to do a little more outside shooting. And he goes to Michigan, and from what I've seen, he's playing the same role he played at Illinois.
Yeah. I honestly, I think it may have been a blessing in disguise, because I'm not sure he fits with this group of guys and the style they play.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's not European.
Well, that's true too. That's very true. But they play a different style. They do. I mean, they play a different style, and they move the ball around. They move without the ball very well as well. So I just don't know if he would have fit here. But there's always that you leave Illinois or you leave any school and you go to another in-conference school, there's going to be a little bit of hard feelings.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember when Sky Clark came back to the State Farm Center and, the Orange Crush let them have it. And it's really it's fun and games, but yeah, I mean there is some bad blood there because you were one of us, I guess. But I think it'll be fun when he comes to town. It's a big game, and I think, like I said, you got to have that circled for a Kylan Boswell return. If not before that, but for sure by Michigan.
Before we get to Michigan, though, we have to take care of business for the next 2-3 weeks.
We do. I mean, we got to win these games at home against, Washington, Northwestern, Wisconsin, Indiana. I kind of got those as must wins. They're not ranked teams. I know you're missing Kylan Boswell, but if you want to have the season that we're on pace to have, you got to do your job and win those games at home for sure.
Just like you did last night against Maryland. You got to have those that's kind of same games against these unranked teams in the Big Ten and pick up conference victories.
Correct. Yep. I think there's 4 elite teams in the Big Ten, with Purdue, Nebraska, Michigan State, and Illinois, and Michigan. So I guess 5. There's probably 5 elite teams in the Big Ten, and then I feel like the rest of the conference is kind of middle of the road. So, you got to take care of business on those middle of the road teams, especially at home, and hopefully we can squeak out a couple wins on these ranked road games. I really don't expect to win them all, especially without Kylan Boswell. But we'll see in the next couple weeks, and we'll be able to talk about it here for the next several weeks as they're making their way to March Madness.
Yes, sir. Speaking of making their way to March Madness, how about Shauna Green and the women's fighting Illini? Boy, 2 years in a row. Yeah, I've been privileged. I went to a game on New Year's Day when they were at home and beat number 7 Maryland. What a fun atmosphere she has created and a buzz around the campus and around Champaign for women's basketball that hasn't been there in years, if ever. But yeah, it's a fun atmosphere. She's got a winning product on the floor, and they are having a tremendous year as well.
That's another team that I mentioned we have some young players here for the men's team, but that team is one of the youngest in the country, and they've got potential to be good for a really long time. Shauna Green's doing a great job. Everything you see about her, I think she's who you want in that job, and they've done a good job by keeping her, and she's done a good job on this team. And you can tell the fans, there's a lot more people in the stands for the women's games than there has been in how many years?
A ton. When we went, we sat in C section, and typically during the women's games, you didn't see anybody up there. But I'd say 10 to 12 rows up into, I call it C section, 200 section, whatever you want to call it. It's always going to be C section to me. It's still going to be Assembly Hall to me too. But that's besides the point. But anyway, 10 to 12 rows up all the way around the bowl were people, families, and the 100 section and B section. All the floor was full. It's awesome. And it was loud. It was fun. You could tell that the girls fed off that. And, it's just an then she talks to everybody after the game. Thanks them for coming out. That's just good PR.
Yeah. Very personable. I think, I'll say it right now. If you have a chance to go see a women's game here in Champaign, take your kids, whatever you got to do, you will enjoy yourself. And it's so reasonable.
They will too.
Ticket. Oh yeah, absolutely. The kids have a blast, but I mean, the tickets are hardly anything. And
$12.
It's just, it's a must go this year. I put it on the list. If you got time, if you got an opportunity, make it a point. Go see the women play. You won't be disappointed.
It was $12 a ticket, free parking, and you had concessions. I think a total we spent $100 as a family of 4. I took my son to his first game. He did fine. He went and got through the whole game, had fun. He was dancing. Kendall was dancing. My kids, my wife and I, we had a great time. And I went into it thinking, if we make it to halftime with the kids, we'll be all right. But no, we had a blast, and we're looking to go to a couple more games just because of it. It's a great product on the floor. It's a great atmosphere. It's a lot of fun. As Scotty said, get out and see it. And in fact, on Senior Day, March 1st, all kids 12 and under get in free. So pack the place for them on Senior Day, and do us a favor and go enjoy it because you should.
Yeah, you won't be disappointed.
Hey, let's talk a little bit baseball here before we take a break here on the Press Box Live here on Clubhouse Lounge Radio and at clubhouse217.com. And if you miss any of the show, you can always listen to it at 9 a.m. on Clubhouse Lounge Radio. We're going to replay the show on Saturday mornings for you to give you something to listen to. Maybe you're in the garage, maybe you're trying to stay warm by a fire this weekend because it's going to get bitterly cold. But in 20 days, pitchers and catchers report, Scotty.
We're getting close.
We are, and I'm excited because my Cubbies signed Alex Bregman. We got a third baseman. Our lineup looks good. We've made some trades, and we've got some pitching. We're looking solid to win the division, and hopeful where your Cardinals, well, they're in rebuild mode. Boy, Scotty, as a Cardinal fan, you got to be wondering, who are these guys?
Yeah, I will tell you, it's a tough time to be a Cardinals fan right now. But that's exactly what it is. It's a rebuild. It's going to be a rebuild, probably few years. It's going to be a little bit of a process. But yeah, it's. I mean, I don't have much to look forward to for the Cardinals this year. To be honest with you, Keith. But yeah,
well,
they
traded Arenado to Arizona recently.
Yep.
Brendan Donovan's still there, so you still got one guy who's trade bait, but Sonny Gray's gone. Wilson Contreras is gone. It's going to be like the Cleveland Indians in Major League. Like, you're going to see opening day, you're like, who are these guys?
Yeah,
I don't think they're done yet either.
I don't think so either. And they've always done a good job in their farm program, so I'm hoping, we start to see some young guys that, maybe will be a name someday. But, Arenado goes to the Diamondbacks. That whole deal was kind of crazy. Arenado plus $31 million for Jack Martinez. Basically, Arenado had a no trade clause. He only wanted to play in St. Louis or Arizona, and they basically saved $11,000 at the end of the day by sending him to Arizona. It's a tough, Arenado's a fun player to watch. It was. But it's something that had to happen. Unfortunately, it had to happen.
It's a business. It is. That's what it is. And we're going to dive more into this next Thursday night and talk more off-season baseball as we move closer to pitchers and catchers reporting. You have Cody Bellinger signing back with the Yanks. You have Kyle Tucker signing for a stupid amount of money with the Dodgers. And we'll get into that because I have a lot to say about that one. But make sure you tune in next week. We're going to talk more baseball right here on the Press Box in the offseason and dive a little deeper into things. But for now, we're going to take a break. We're going to take a break, hear from our great sponsors, Jen Wright at Midwest Mortgage, Jordan McDaniel at Country Financial, and Cam's Auto Repair. We appreciate them all being a sponsor of our brand new show, The Press Box, here on Clubhouse Lounge Radio. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk NFL playoffs, the coaching carousel, and the Bears. The Bears. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on The Press Box on Clubhouse Lounge Radio.
Spring is almost here, and that means more time on the road. At Cam's Auto Repair, we help you get your vehicle road ready after a long winter. From inspections and maintenance to the repairs that keep your family safe, our team takes the time to explain what your car needs so there are no surprises. You can book online through Google or at our website at camsautorepair.com or call 217-607-1477 to talk with Dale or Cody. Cam's Auto Repair, trusted car care, done right.
Welcome back to the Press Box Live on Clubhouse Lounge Radio, clubhouse217.com. I am Keith Gibson in the Clubhouse Lounge Radio studios, and joining me, my broadcast partner, Scotty Johnson. He's in the TP in Tolono.
Absolutely. And if you're listening live right now on Facebook, why don't you comment where you're listening from, or maybe give us a topic, what you want to hear, because, this is real sports for real people.
That's right. Real sports talk for real sports fans. We hope you've enjoyed the show so far. If you miss any of it, you can listen to it at 9 a.m. on Saturday mornings at Clubhouse Lounge Radio. And this show will then be on the YouTube channel, too, as well for Clubhouse Lounge Radio. So if you miss any of it, want to watch it, want to hear us, we got you covered. right here on Clubhouse Lounge Radio. We've talked a little NCAA football, the NIL, the transfer portal. We've talked Illini basketball, both men's and women's. We've talked a little bit of baseball, which we're going to dive into deeper next week. But now we're going to talk about the NFL and playoffs, and what a playoffs it has been. Some tight games, some close games, and the Bears had some great playoff run, but unfortunately it ended last Sunday. And Scotty, let's talk a little about that. Let's talk a little about the Bears and the season they had. I'm a big Bears fan. I woke up, my son, the dog started barking last Sunday night when Cole Kmet caught that touchdown, which was unbelievable play by Caleb Williams and an unbelievable throw. But they're this close. I really think they're this close. And they've got the right guy at the helm. I'm still, and I know this is going to make Bears fans mad, I'm still not sold on Caleb Williams.
Well, first things first, they had a great run, nothing to hang their head on this year. They couldn't finish that game. They had the opportunity to. So their playoff run is over. But yeah, I agree. Ben Johnson comes in and the Bears it feels different. It feels like a whole different team. And you got young guys in there, and they've got some potential to be a really good football team over the next few years. I think Caleb Williams is going to be the guy. I really do. I mean, you might not be sold on him, but I think he did a pretty fine job under pressure. He was a second half quarterback, so maybe figure out how to get him to be a full game quarterback.
That's where I'm not sold at. Because he's great in the clutch, fantastic, and he's shown he's great in the clutch. The Iceman. I need to see the first 3 quarters of him be a little more consistent. Make the easy throws, make the 7-yard outs, hit your backs out of the backfield. Hit your check downs, and be a little bit more consistent with your accuracy. And I think that will come. I do. But I'm just not there yet. I'm closer than I was week 1, without a doubt. But I'm just not there yet. I think it's there, but I need to see him next year really improve that accuracy and completion percentage.
Okay, let me ask you this. Right now, Caleb Williams, or would you rather see Justin Fields with some, maybe Marvin Harrison Jr. instead of Caleb Williams draft pick?
Well, I'm going to stop you there because I think Ryan Pace has done a fantastic job for the Bears in the draft. You're talking Colston, Loveland, and Burden in the last year's draft, and those two are going to be big-time players for that offense because I think Cole Kmet's going to kind of fade away, even though he had the big catch last Sunday late. I think you saw Colston Loveland become a tight end 1, hands down, and be a valuable weapon. I think you're going to see Victor Burden be another valuable weapon out of either the slot or somewhere. I think though they're just missing something. I'm not sure DeAndre Swift is a guy yet. There's just something missing from that offense still that's going to push them over the edge. I'm not sure what it is, but there's something.
Yeah, that's fair. I think Loveland just what a draft pick this past season, and he just came out a rookie year and he's going to be something special. And I think what we've seen now, Buffalo did the same thing. Running the 3 tight end set is becoming a little more common in the NFL. So I think the Bears are onto something, and I don't think Kmet is bad. So I think they're onto something with those 3 tight ends.
Yeah, Smythe and Kmet and Loveland. Smythe does so much little things too. He doesn't catch a lot of passes, but he blocks well. And sometimes that's the bigger thing is that they all 3 block well and make some big blocks to open some holes. So Bears, great season. Playoffs have been a lot of fun so far. When you look at the other games too, Carolina's game with the Rams early and Seattle, the only game that really was a blowout was Seattle over San Francisco. Everything else has been pretty tight.
Yeah, I didn't expect that either out of Seattle, San Francisco. I thought that would be a little closer of a game, honestly. It honestly wasn't even that fun to watch after it started. So, unless you're a Seattle fan, of course, it was probably a great game to watch. But
right,
yeah. Otherwise, yeah, the playoffs have been super good games. You have Buffalo going to overtime with Denver, and man, unfortunately, Bo Nix. That's sad that he last play of the offensive drive and breaks his ankle and gonna miss out on the rest of the playoffs.
But kudos to him for having some cojones and some grit and some intestinal fortitude for finishing out that drive on a broken ankle.
Yeah, I mean the kid's tough and he's proven it, and Sean Payton's done a good job over there, and I just now you don't have Bo Nix going into New England.
Good luck.
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
That
unfortunately,
defense is good, but I don't know if they're that good.
yeah, I feel like their season kind of ended when Bo Nix's season ended. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think Seattle and LA probably going to be a good game. But man, Seattle's tough.
I don't think
Seattle is.
so. I don't. I honestly think Seattle, their run game is going to run through the Rams. And I think Seattle at home, especially with the 12th man, as loud as they are, I think they win big. I think the Bears might have shown Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator for the Bears, showed the blueprint of how to get to Matthew Stafford and what to do. And I think you'll see a lot of blitzing from Seattle. And I think you'll see the run game for Seattle. I just think Seattle wins big in that one. And I think the Patriots win in the AFC. I think it's closer than people think. But Drake May is pretty impressive and what he's done. And so Mike Vrabel should be coach of the year as well for what he's done in New England.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the Patriots. Here you go back to the baseball for a minute. The Cardinal fans we're kind of in that rebuild process that the Patriots just went through. But look how far they've come in a short matter of time. And Vrabel's done a great job. And I agree. I think you're going to see New England in the Super Bowl again against Seattle. That's my prediction as well. I believe that's what you're saying as well.
Yeah, I do. I would be shocked if Denver or LA get in, to be honest with you. I don't see it. Matthew Stafford's got a lot of weapons. The Rams have a lot of weapons. And if Seattle doesn't get pressure, it could be different than what I'm saying. But I just see them getting pressure and causing and the run game going, and I just see Seattle winning that ball game and not maybe close early, but not late. And I see Drake May in New England. Boy, that defense is pretty good. Drake's pretty good. I mean, he's an MVP candidate. I just don't see how you take a backup quarterback in Stedman with the Broncos and win. I just don't.
Unfortunately, because I think you put Bo Nix against New England this weekend, I think that shapes up for a heck of a lot better game than we're probably going to see.
I will tell you this: if Bo Nix was healthy and starting for Denver, I probably would have taken Denver in this ball game.
Yeah, I'm probably with you. So that's unfortunate for him, though.
Yeah, let's talk about little coaching carousel and the coaching. I don't even know what to call it in the NFL right now. You got a guy like Mike Tomlin, who's been around for 2 decades in Pittsburgh, walk away. You've got John Harbaugh, who was with the Ravens for 2 decades, fired, and then signs a 5-year, $100 million deal with the New York Giants, football Giants. You've got the Buffalo Bills head coach fired. Miami's McDaniel's fired from Miami. It's what are NFL owners looking at here? What have you done for me now lately, or what? Because I want John Harbaugh on my sidelines. I would if I'm Baltimore, I want him there. I want Mike Tomlin there for the Pittsburgh. Yeah, was Mike Tomlin's downfall, Scotty, Aaron Rodgers?
I've never even thought of that, to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know that maybe it's one of those that, it's the coin flip. You're either going to, it's either going to be good or bad, and it just didn't turn out. But I mean, you make the playoffs. I'm wondering, and you can maybe answer this, how you feel like Mike Tomlin steps down, but was he pushed to step down, or was he asked to step down? mean, is there more behind it to just stepping down?
Oh, I think so, without a doubt. I think upper management in Pittsburgh pushed him out the door, which just shows me a lack of respect for a guy who's put 19 years in with you, taking you to multiple playoffs. I believe won a Super Bowl there as well, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, you have no quarterback and haven't had one. He hasn't had a solid quarterback since Ben Roethlisberger left. And so you get Aaron Rodgers, who's 44 years old, coming off a Achilles injury, hasn't looked good. You sign him, you still get to the playoffs. Playoffs. What's the problem? I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah, I think 19 years. I don't know. I think they're just ready for the next step. I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, Mike Tomlin, he's got a winning record and he's been there for 2 decades. So yeah,
Right.
I agree. What else can you ask for? I guess I don't get paid enough to make those decisions.
Let's talk about Buffalo. McDermott in Buffalo.
Yeah. Mike McDermott fired after 9 seasons. 98
What-
and 50 record.
What more does the guy have to do? I know he didn't win the big one. I know that. But he's consistently put a playoff team on the field and got them into the playoffs. He's got potential. He's got Josh Allen. It takes 11 guys to win a football, 22 guys, but 11 guys on offense, 11 guys on defense, as everybody knows. But his defense hasn't been great. The offense has been there. But he's also played, the AFC has been loaded with the Chiefs every year. And just because you don't get there this year when the Chiefs are, when you have to go on the road every week to get there, come on.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the deciding factor. If you ask me, the Chiefs are irrelevant for once in the last decade, and the Eagles don't make the playoffs. So I think you kind of see the finish line with Josh Allen, and it's your time, and then lose a heartbreaker in overtime against Denver. But yeah, I mean, 9 seasons with a 98 and 50 record. I don't know. I mean, and he's gonna coach somewhere. I don't know where. But the names that I'm reading that they're looking at the Bills, Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator, Davis Webb, who is the Broncos passing coach. He was a 2017 third-round draft pick, so young guy, never head coach yet. And then Brian Dable from the Giants. He's got Buffalo experience. He came from Buffalo. His name is in the hat right now.
So this is what I don't understand right now about these coaching carousel and then all these coaches who've had success. You want to bring in younger. Is it a money issue? Is it a processes? I don't understand it. It blows my mind what's going on right now.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. I think with the Bills, maybe the time is now for them. They got Josh Allen that's not going to get any better. I mean, he's I would say at his peak, and I feel like they think if they can't take that next step, then they don't have anything. So I think they're throwing a Hail Mary is what they're doing and just trying to get something before Josh Allen's done.
John Harbaugh going to the New York Football Giants for 5 years, $100 million. I love John and I love what he's done. I love him and Jim both. I think they're both fantastic football coaches. But anybody who takes that Giants job, you're out of your mind. There's nothing there. And all he saw was money. He saw the Brinks truck backing up and said, you're going to pay me $20 million to be here? Sign me up. But I will tell you this, he doesn't last 5 years in New York.
Well, I mean, he's definitely probably on his downhill of his coaching career anyways, but I think what the goal is taking somebody like John Harbaugh with the experience that he has, and the Giants are they have to rebuild. I mean, they're going to try to build around Jackson Dart, and they think John Harbaugh's the guy. I mean, good for him for taking the money, I guess, but good luck.
So where does Mike Tomlin coach again?
I don't think so.
I don't either. I will agree with you 100% on that. I think Mike Tomlin wants away. He's got a daughter who's gymnast. I saw that the other day at, I believe, Georgia. I think you're going to see Mike Tomlin walk away and not head coach anymore. And it's sad that that would happen in that way.
Yeah, I definitely don't think you're going to see him head coach on an NFL squad anymore. I wouldn't be surprised if he does something, but yeah, you're right. I mean, he could just walk away and do the family thing, and I mean, you can't blame him for that either.
Nope. Well, Scotty, we've talked college football, we've talked college basketball, both men's and women. We talked a little baseball, we talked a little football, we talked real sports talk for real sports fan. Any final thoughts this evening as we wrap up our debut episode of the Press Box?
Well, I think we got some more exciting NFL right around the corner this weekend, and it's going to set us up for a Super Bowl in a couple weeks. Let's keep an eye on Illinois basketball, see what this next week brings us. Going to Purdue is going to be tough, and MLB is coming around the corner, and I know you're more excited than me.
I am. I am very excited about that. I'm looking forward to next Thursday night talking a little bit about the offseason and what to expect and some of these crazy, crazy salaries, but we'll get into that next Thursday night here on the Press Box at 8 o'clock on Facebook and at clubhouse217.com. For my broadcast partner, Scotty Johnson, I am Keith Gibson. Thank you for joining us on the debut episode of the Press Box. If you missed any of tonight's show, tune in at 9 a.m. on Clubhouse Lounge Radio for the audio version, or you can watch the show again on YouTube on Saturday afternoon. Have a great night, everybody.